During a Senate hearing in early 2026, multiple senators questioned Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem about a $220 million advertising campaign that prominently featured Noem and involved contracts to individuals with close personal and professional ties to the secretary. According to the senators questioning, the ad campaign, which Noem stated was approved by President Trump to communicate immigration enforcement policies, involved contracts that went to a company formed 11 days before receiving $143 million, which then subcontracted with a firm headed by the husband of Noem's former spokesperson. Senators pressed Noem on whether the contracting process was competitive, whether she or her associates influenced contract awards, and whether the connections between contractors and Noem's political circle represented conflicts of interest or coincidences. Noem repeatedly stated that career officials at DHS handled the contracting process following standard procedures and that she had no involvement in selecting contractors. The questioning raised concerns about procurement oversight, potential favoritism in federal contracting, and whether political appointees influenced decisions that directed taxpayer funds to personal associates. Watch how the first senator opened the questioning.
I believe you have a policy, Madam Secretary, that you have to approve all contracts at your department over $100 million.
No, sir. I have a policy in place that I review contracts. My deputy chiefs have the ability to review anything under $5 million. Above that, I evaluate and look at.
Okay. And you do that, I understand, to try to curb waste and abuse of taxpayer money. Is that right?
Yes, sir. In fact, it's been extremely effective. We've saved the taxpayers over $13.2 billion just by evaluating contracts, negotiating lower ones, and canceling ones that aren't necessary to do our duties.
How do you square that concern for waste, which I share, with the fact that you have spent $220 million running television advertisements that feature you prominently?
Sir, the president tasked me with getting the message out to the country and to other countries where we were seeing the invasion come from, with putting commercials out that told them that if they were in this country illegally, that they needed to leave, or we would detain them and remove them, and they'd not get the chance to come back to America the right way. That has been extremely effective.
Ask you to run these advertisements, is that right?
We had that conversation, yes, before I was put in this position and sworn in and confirmed, and since then as well.
Okay. Did you bid out those service contracts?
Yes, they did. They went out to a competitive bid, and career officials at the department chose who would do those advertising commercials.
And the people that you ended up picking were people who had formerly done your political work back in South Dakota. Is that right?
No, that's not correct, sir. No, it's not, sir. The individuals who, I believe the careers who they chose were two different media firms. There's been conversation about their subcontractors, but we have no legal authority to look into subcontractors on work like that.
Okay. And you're saying that you're testifying that President Trump approved this ahead of time? Is that my understanding?
We had conversations about making sure that we were telling people.
No, ma'am. I'm asking you, sorry to interrupt, but the president approved ahead of time you spending $220 million running TV ads across the country in which you are featured prominently.
Yes, sir. We went through the legal processes, did it correctly.
Did the president do this?
Yes.
He did?
Yes.
Okay.
And one thing, Senator, I think would be helpful to know is how effective that communications has been. That
well, they were
overwhelmingly
effective in your name recognition. I mean, I personally just, to me, it puts the president in a terribly awkward spot. And I'm not saying you're not telling the truth. It's just hard for me to believe, knowing the president, as I do, that you said, Mr. President, here's some ads I've cut, and I'm going to spend $220 million running them, that he would have agreed to that. I don't think Russ Vogt at OMB would have agreed to that. It's something we have to defend. I'm on the Appropriations Committee. My research shows that you did not bid them out, that you pick, in fact, one of the people you picked, the strategy group, Safe America Media was a company formed 11 days before you picked them, and that the strategy group got most of the money, and the head of that is married to your former spokesperson. Look, we all have friends who are qualified. I'm not quibbling with that. It troubles me. A fifth to a quarter of $1 billion of taxpayer money when we're scratching for every penny and we're fighting over rescission packages. I just can't agree with Madam Secretary. Are you still running those ads?
The senator's questioning established several specific factual claims that form the basis of their concerns about the contracting process. According to the senators, the $220 million advertising campaign featured Secretary Noem prominently. The content and extent of Noem's appearance in these ads would be verifiable through the advertisements themselves, which aired publicly. Noem's statement that President Trump tasked me with getting the message out and that they had conversations about the advertising represents her characterization of Trump's role. When pressed on whether Trump specifically approved the $220 million expenditure, Noem stated, "Yes, sir, we went through the legal processes. Did it correctly? Yes, he did." This claim about presidential approval could be verified through White House communications, OMB records, and DHS budget documents. The contracting details the senators cited include specific allegations. Safe America Media was incorporated 11 days before receiving a contract, and the strategy group, headed by Ben Yoho, husband of Noem's former spokesperson, received $143 million through a subcontract. These claims could be verified through federal contracting databases, corporate formation records, and personnel documentation. Federal procurement regulations generally require competitive bidding for contracts above certain thresholds, with limited exceptions for sole source awards that must be justified. The senator's assertion that this was a no-bid contract contradicts Noem's statement that it went out to a competitive bid. One senator stated he had a document from USASpending.gov showing justification for no bid contract, which represents publicly available federal contracting data. Noem's response that career officials at the department chose who would do those advertising commercials and that no politicals were involved represents her account of how decisions were made. This would be verifiable through procurement documentation, emails, and testimony from the career officials involved. The connections the senators identified between contractors and Noem's political circle are documented through public records. Ben Yoho is married to Tricia McLaughlin, who served as Noem's spokesperson. Yoho's firm worked on Noem's gubernatorial campaign and received contracts from South Dakota during her governorship. These represent factual relationships that establish personal and professional connections, though whether those connections influence contract awards remains disputed. Watch how another senator pursued more detailed questioning about these specific relationships.
This is $220 million. It was an advertising campaign, as I understand it, that featured you and you on a horse at Mount Rushmore. The contract was a no-bid contract. You acknowledge that?
I wasn't involved with this contracting process, so my understanding is that there was many companies that competed for this contract.
The answer to that is yes or no.
I don't believe it was. I believe other companies competed for this because there was two different vendors that were chosen.
I have here a document from USASpending.gov. And this document specifically states the justification for no bid contract that goes to Safe America Media and People Who Think. Those are the two entities that did the campaign, correct?
I believe it is. I wasn't a part of this contracting process.
Let's get serious here.
Yes.
Okay. The Safe America was incorporated 11 days or 7 days by my count before they got an award of $143 million. You have any dispute with that?
Are you talking about the subcontractor on that contract? Because we
Safe
have,
America.
Senator, I wasn't a part of this decision.
Okay.
We followed the same processes that have been our policies and how this was conducted appropriately.
I will go through this and then you can answer. I don't want us to be talking over each other. Safe America was incorporated 11 days or 7 days by my account before they got a $143 million contract. Now, as a administrator who has fiscal responsibility over a huge budget, do you realistically think that a company that was created 11 days before they got $143 million is in a position to execute on a $143 million contract?
Senator, I can't speak to their business model. I will tell you that since I've been at the department, I have reviewed over 10,000 contracts. I
let
have
me keep
saved the
going through this.
taxpayers
I don't
$1
want to
billion
go through this,
by
Madam Secretary.
renegotiating contracts and being more efficient.
Mr. Chairman, I don't want the filibuster, all right? And I want my time back. I'm not denying her a chance to answer. I'm asking you to deny her the abuse to filibuster. Okay.
Of that.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. I'll go through this, all right? This is on a U.S. government website that says that contract for $143 million was a no-bid contract. Public documentation says the contract of $143 million went to the Safe America company, created 11 days before they got an award. That company then subcontracted with the strategy group, and you are familiar with many of the principles in the strategy group, correct?
I know one of them,
Mr. Yoho.
yes.
And let me show you a photograph. That's Mr. Yoho standing next to you, correct?
Yes,
Now, Mr. Yoho is also the husband of your former spokesperson. Is that correct?
correct.
Tricia McLaughlin.
Yes,
So your former secretary, your former assistant secretary and her husband are the ones that got the subcontract from Safe America, or from Safe America. That's what the record shows. Any dispute about that?
no, except there was no politicals, myself or anyone else besides career employees who are a part of that process.
Except
for putting out those
Well,
contracts and
that's
choosing
generous.
those vendors.
But what you have is the Republican operative.
Well, you're trying to insinuate that
I'm not
I put
insinuating,
my-
I'm
Yes,
stating a
you're-
fact. The fact is
You're
that
saying that I weighed
Mr.
in on this
Yoho-
contracting
Mis-
process, and I did not.
Mr. Chairman, the fact is that Mr. Yoho was married to your assistant secretary, is married, correct?
Yes, they are still married.
All right. And Mr. Yoho also ran an ad campaign for you in your gubernatorial campaign, correct?
Yes,
And he also attended your inauguration.
yes,
And Mr. Yoho received $8.5 million, or his company did, from the taxpayers of South Dakota when you ran an ad promotion showing you doing various jobs, like a plumber and a dentist, correct?
again, that was done according to the law and processes at the state of South
I
Dakota.
understand, but
Yes,
this
well-
is a person that worked on your campaign. This is a person that worked on your media plan in South Dakota when you were governor, and this is a person who also worked on your memoir. Is that correct?
On my memoir?
And he worked with Mr. Lewandowski. Is that correct?
I don't know, sir. I don't know about the business
Mr.
arrangement.
is your special advisor.
Special government employee
Right.
for the White
And
House.
Mr. Lewandowski brought Mr. Yoho into your camp. They had worked on the Louisiana governor's campaign, correct?
No, I knew Ben Yoho before that.
All right. So the person that you knew, Mr. Yoho, the husband of your assistant secretary, is the person in the company that got the subcontract 11 days after this original company, Safe America, was founded. That's the record. So I have a question. Did Mr. Lewandowski receive any compensation directly or indirectly from Safe America or from the strategy group?
Senator, I don't have any information to that. I can't speak to that.
Would that be of interest
think so.
for you to find out?
Sure.
Well, so will you ask Mr. Lewandowski, did he get any compensation directly or indirectly from these contracts?
Are you asking me to go ask him?
Yes, I am. Ask your special government advisor,
I can do that.
and you'll get back to us.
Get back to you. Yes,
All right,
absolutely.
The hearing revealed a pattern of connections between federal contractors and Secretary Noem's political circle that senators characterized as concerning, while Noem maintained she had no involvement in contract selection. The factual claims are verifiable. Safe America Media's incorporation date, the $143 million contract amount, Ben Yoho's marriage to Tricia McLaughlin, Yoho's work on Noem's campaigns and gubernatorial media efforts, and the subcontract to strategy group. Federal procurement databases and corporate records would confirm or refute the senator's characterizations about no-bid contracts and competitive bidding. What remains contested is whether these connections influence contracting decisions. Noem's position: career officials followed standard competitive bidding procedures without political interference, and federal rules don't provide authority to review subcontractors. The senator's position: the pattern of contracts to Noem's associates, her spokesperson's husband, campaign vendors, memoir collaborator, represents either improper favoritism or an implausible series of coincidences. Noem committed to asking Corey Lewandowski whether he received compensation from these contracts, a question that arose because of Lewandowski's role as Noem's special government employee and his reported professional relationship with Yoho. Whether that inquiry produces answers and whether oversight committees pursue the contracting documentation will determine if the procurement process followed legal requirements or represented misuse of taxpayer funds. If you'd like to see more videos like this, subscribe to the channel and support the video with a like. I'm grateful you were here with me.